Hi everybody, this is Jim, and today we're going to be looking at the Garmin eTrex GPS that we're going to be using in class. This is the one that has been supplied to all students, so you should have one of these. I recommend get it, take it out of its box. Comes with a manual that's really good to read, but let's go ahead and walk through some of the basic features that we have. First thing you want to do is you want to be careful with these. They are relatively inexpensive, only about $100. You can buy them on Amazon. They're pretty tough. We use them with all kinds of field work, citizen scientists. However, they're small and they're electronic, so they do not respond well to being run over or dropped overboard. If you're going to do any work around water, please put it in a plastic bag. They do well in plastic. The other thing is that, oh look, they're yellow and they're small. If you drop these into a field of grass, that's it. It's gone. You'll never find it again. Okay, really easy thing to do is down on the bottom, there's a spot where you can hook a piece of string through there and then tie a nice long piece of surveying tape, that orange tape, about 3 feet long. You drop it in the grass, you just go over and pick it up instead of hunting for hours and never finding it. Cool? All right, so let's get started. Grab your eTrex. The first thing you want to do is put a couple AA batteries on it. On the back, you will see this little ring. If we flip that up and turn it, got to turn it all the way, then the back's going to come off. Cover will pop open, and you're going to want to drop in 2 AA batteries. Now, any batteries will work and they're fine. Don't store it for long periods with them in there, or they'll corrode and gets gross and rusty and destroys your GPS. So pull them out if you throw them into a box somewhere during the winter. Okay, go ahead and put them in the right orientation and slide this back on. It's a little bit funky to get back on. And then turn that ring back so this doesn't fall off. Fold it down, okay, and we're good to go. Next step is turn on the power, which is on this side right here. That's the power button. And as it powers up, a little message from Garmin, and then you should see the main screen. Now, if you don't see the main screen, there's a button over here called back, and this is your friend. Not only now, but anytime if you get lost, you get down into some menus and some settings, you can just hit back a few times and it should bring you right back to this screen. On this screen, you'll see map and some other items that we're going to talk about. And again, there's a lot of stuff in here. You don't need all of it. You only need the things we'll talk a little about today and some more in the workshops. But feel free to explore, and there's a good manual that comes with it. All right, up here, there's a little joystick. Okay, it just looks like a button, but if you go ahead and start pushing that, you will see it allows you to move through this screen. Okay, so that is how we move around. Now, what I want you to do is scroll down until you see satellite right there, and then push the button in. So that button allows you to scroll through different menus and then click to go into something and the back button to go out. That's how you navigate with these. Very simple, very easy. Okay, now even though you're indoors, I have found these little eTrexes work really well. If you're inside a concrete building with a lot of rebar in the walls, the GPS won't be able to communicate with the satellites. So you may not see satellites on your screen. But normally in a house, or of course if you're outside, which is great to play with them outside, better than indoors, okay, you should see a bunch of satellites in this view. In other words, around this circle, you'll see all those black squares. Those are actually satellites. Pretty cool. Your GPS is picking up signals from satellites all around the world in a huge network that was put there for us to be able to do this kind of stuff. Okay, really was put there for the military, but we get to use it. All right, now, one of the things you're looking for is you want to have a few satellites. If you've only got 2 or 3, your GPS is not going to work, okay? You have to have at least 3 for it to work at all. The more, the merrier. In fact, you'll see down here in the lower right, okay, on these units in different places and different GPSs, you'll see some number of feet. That's the error, sort of. We'll talk more about that, but it's important to have that. You want to have an error 10 to 20 feet, okay, 3 to 6 meters, something like that, okay? Remember, that's the accuracy of these devices. Unless you get into the very expensive ones, you're going to be dealing with some significant error in these. So they're not good for getting very high accuracy locations. But if you're out in the woods, you find an invasive species, you find any species you're interested in, you can record that point and be confident that you're within 3 to 10 meters is usually what we use for them. Okay, so you want to make sure you have satellites, and then I'm going to back out, and I'm going to scroll back out all the way, and I'm going to go find, what's it called, because it's different, a little bit different on every single GPS. Each GPS you pick up is going to have a little bit different setup. There it is. Okay, so there's setup. Click, system, display, map, all kinds of good stuff. And I'm going to scroll down to position format. Okay, now when I click, we're going to see position format at the top, and below it you're going to see the datum. We'll talk more about this later. You want to make sure the datum is WGS84. If not, you'll want to change it to WGS84. Okay, and that's actually really important so that your data, all of it, can be matched up together. The datums shift the data, and we'll talk more about that later. Position format, go ahead and click on that, and then you'll see a bunch of different options, and scroll until you see the one that's HDDD.DDDD. Basically just all D's with a degree symbol at the end. Okay, that's what we call decimal degrees, and that's what we'll be working in initially. Okay, scroll to that, hit return, click it again. Oops, that puts me back. I forgot, hit the back button. Okay, yay, now I'm all the way back out again. All right, so that's all you need to do to set it up, are those simple steps. Now we could turn it off, go out into the field. Okay, once we're out in the field, we want to turn it on, and usually we turn on our GPSs while we're headed out to the field. In fact, if you're driving, go ahead and set it up on the dashboard. It won't hurt it unless it's really hot, and then it's ready when you get out there. In other words, your GPS may take some time to sync up with all the satellites. So these are pretty quick nowadays, but 5 to 10 minutes is fairly common, and the longer you have it on in the field, the better it's going to get, but it's also going to use up your batteries. So 5-10 minutes before you want to start taking data, turn it on, put it somewhere where it can see the sky we talk about. Okay. All right, from the main menu then, we're going to set it to mark waypoint, and this is the easy way to collect point data. You can also collect tracks or polylines of data, like along streams or trails, and you can collect polygons, like I've done a lot of work outlining areas of invasive species. But in this case, we're just going to record a waypoint. So I selected mark waypoint, and then you walk, and you walk and walk and walk, and you find something that's a species you're interested in, or something else you found. All you have to do is click here, and then it's going to show you the location in lat long coordinates. We'll talk about those in a bit. Okay, and so you've got your 40 degrees, 40.86 degrees for where I am, and that's, so that's where I am here in Arcata. So the latitude is 40.86, the longitude is 124.07. Now, be a little bit careful if you write these down. Normally we use all electronic data. One of the reasons is if you only write down 2 digits, your data is off by about a kilometer. Its accuracy will be about a kilometer. If you write down all 5 digits, you've got 1 meter data. So you really want to do the 1 meters, or sorry, do all 5 digits after the decimal, so you capture the full resolution of that data, full accuracy. Okay, so remember to do that. Now, what we really do is we just go ahead and say, we don't write it down. Okay, that's kind of old school. What we do is we're going to go ahead and say, done. Okay, down in the lower right, done is selected. And you can just click it and click it again, but I'm pausing because you want to write down the number 9. So this waypoint is 9, and what you want to do is in your notebook, write down point 9 and make some notes about what you found. And I also recommend grab your cell phone, take a picture. Nothing is better than having a picture when you're sitting back at the lab saying, what was that point? What was that one about? Oh, here's a photograph. Okay, so write down the waypoint number right there. Whoops. Wait, I lost it. There it is. Okay, there's waypoint 10 up at the top. So now we're on 10. Okay, then all you have to do is push done. If you do that, that waypoint is recorded, It's saved in here, okay? And there's even a waypoint manager that will show you where your points are. However, what we can do is instead, you've got a USB cable. This is not to recharge your GPS, okay? USB cable is there for you to be able to take your data, okay, and bring it out of the GPS, and then we can just pull it out in what's called a GPX file or several other file formats, and then we can bring it into a GIS software package or bring it onto the web very easily. And then we're not also going to have any mistakes from using our writing numbers down and copying them. Okay, so grab your GPS, go out and record some points, have fun.